everyone. You're listening to Another Way Around, the AwayCast, episode number 27.
Really?
Did you like that one?
27?
It is 27.
Oh my god.
Oh, I thought you were commenting on my enunciation.
I was just thinking how the time has gone by so quick. I remember when it was number one.
We've been doing it since March.
Jesus Christ.
It is now Rocktober, Shocktober, Toyotathon. What month is this? I'm here with Greg Andrew Della Rocca. Greg Andrew Della Rocca.
Yeah.
He's here.
The Greg man's here.
And unfortunately, this week, Josh is not here in New York, but he is in Chicago.
I'm in Chicago.
Whoa.
I'm very nervously waiting for a Minnesota Vikings game to start.
Let's start over. Everybody, Josh Henke.
What up, yo? It's me, Josh Henke.
Man.
Is Greg doing his impression of me?
See, I think you came to New York and you got hardened, and you understand you can't just go around saying, what up, yo, without having some street cred.
Josh, we can't start the show until you say your stupid thing.
What up, yo?
There we go.
I'm sorry, I'm really nervous. I'm nervous about this game. It blocked me, but I'm here. I'm focused now. It's totally here. I am all about the AwayCast.
Oh, you have the football game in the background?
Watching that stupid foosball
No, it's just
shit.
like it's pregame stuff, so I'm not even like watching it.
The coin toss?
Yeah, that's my favorite part of the game.
It takes for fucking ever to start a football game. There's been like 18 pregame specials. They've interviewed Adrian Peterson like 43 times.
Every episode, there's like every episode. See?
Yeah,
there's a documentary before every football game about the rivalry and what they did to get here.
They do that really bad with boxing matches. Yeah. Boxing matches have like a 5-hour long documentary.
Well, because you order
starts.
the fight and it can end in 3 minutes and you spend $50. I guess they want to build the hype so you feel like you didn't waste all your money.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you boot up your PS3 and it requires like a patch before you can play your game, you're like, ugh. Like, an NFL football game comes with like a 4-hour patch attached to it. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Meanwhile, every goddamn analyst is picking the New York Giants, who haven't even won a game this year. So I'm already fired.
There's actually a fix for this bug, Josh. It's called not watching football anymore.
Oh my god. So Sunday, like, the Vikings didn't play, and like, I play fantasy football, but kind of. And so I had this day where I was like, I could do anything today. I don't have to be glued to a TV. I can, and let me tell you guys, on Sundays during football season, it's like heaven outside. We went to go see Gravity. There's like no line at the movie theater. There's no one waiting to get on a bus. Like, the streets are empty. Everyone's in sports bars. They're in their house watching football. I literally felt like I could commit murder and it would take hours before anyone even found that guy dead.
Probably.
But you know that your fantasy stats add up even if you're not watching the television, right, Josh?
Well, exactly. So I was like, I got home and I was like, you know what? Let's go see a movie. Let's get the hell out of here and not be glued to like the TV this one Sunday.
So you saw Gravity, huh?
I saw Gravity. It's fantastic.
Gravity.
John Mayer's new film, Gravity.
Gravity. Yep, it was. I thought it was a strange idea to have Alfonso Cuarón direct a John Mayer live concert. I thought that was hot. But
in space,
paid dividends in the end.
In space too. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, what was strange was that John Mayer wasn't even in it. I didn't even hear one of his songs. It was I think it was going on Earth behind them. But
I would have been very upset.
What it is it's one of John Mayer's long extended metaphors in his songs.
That makes.
So you saw this movie. Everyone's talking about this as the new thing to be talked about, right? So
That's Sandra Bullock.
That's Sandra Bullock. So you give it 5 buttery popcorns and 2 Coca-Colas, or what's your rating?
I'm gonna give it 6 oil cans, old like tin oil cans.
The ones that are worth money, though, collectible oil cans.
Yeah, collectible oil cans. And one old ass Bob Barker. Not dead, still living Bob Barker.
Oh, well, that's worth a lot, though. That's a big rating.
That's worth at least $29.99.
That's Family Feud, isn't it?
It's a mix of both.
We end up talking about game shows a lot on this show.
I told you from the beginning, we should just do this about game shows instead of games.
That's The Price is Right. We'll be right back after this.
Yeah, they do that.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah, pretty good.
So Sandra Bullock was all right?
Yeah, I mean, Sandra Bullock is serviceable. It's like, it's a thriller. It's all about her and George Clooney trying to survive in space.
Who wins?
Between space
between
and people?
Mother Nature and Sandra Bullock.
Well, it wouldn't be Mother Nature.
It's only a matter of time. You can
Mother
see
Universe.
You can see the xenomorph ship approaching in the background, so it doesn't fucking matter.
It all ties in. You see a Star Destroyer in the background.
Exactly, and some TIE fighters, and you're just like, well, fuck, I don't even know why Sandra Bullock's trying to live anymore.
And then their escape pods land on a sand planet.
Yeah, it was weird.
And they're lost in the desert.
I don't get it.
They talked a lot about a Death Star for a movie that's supposed to be based in the real world.
If I was stuck in space, I would just, like float back down to Earth,
Duh.
You have a spacesuit, just float back down.
Actually, this was the thing. Like, whenever I watch movies, I don't know if you guys do this, but I always go like, oh, I could do that. Or like, this is the part, I could live through this. Or I'll be like, nope, this is where I would die. I would die at this point.
Right.
And watching this movie, like, I think I would have been dead within the first, 10 seconds. Because, these astronauts are so fucking smart. They're doing all this math and science. And I was like, I'd be dead there. I'd be dead there. I don't know how to read Russian, so I'd be dead there.
You're not... Imagine taking these astronauts and putting them over at the place where you work. They'd be dead in 10 seconds, too.
So what's the conflict? Do they have to go blow up a meteor in space to Aerosmith music? Or what do they have to...
No, they're on the damn space station, and another space station hits their space station.
You're talking like
a Chinese space station. They hit their space station. They're like, oh, we didn't see you there. I'm sorry.
Greg, you were talking like a very matter-of-fact 5-year-old. You were like, but Dad, the reason that I keep the bugs in the cage is because they're not safe in the cage. Something stupid like that. I don't know. So they're up there trying to repair the space station?
No, they're literally just they're trying to stay alive and get back down to Earth.
Right, but why are they up there in the first place?
It doesn't really say. Sandra Bullock has a doctorate in something. She's up there because she's super smart. She's fixing something.
But then what happens, Josh? What happens?
I don't want to know spoilers just in case.
Exactly. And it's really hard to say because literally, it's a survival film. The movie starts, shit goes wrong within 10, 20 minutes. And from that point on, all they're trying to do is get to an escape pod and get back to Earth.
Josh, I was reading Neil deGrasse Tyson tweets, and he said that the movie was Bullock's. It was absolute.
Sandra Bullock's.
No, he said that a satellite or something.
Why are you talking like
hit
that?
The space station, and that it.
Why are you talking like
that? It would
that?
never be in that gravitational area,
Well, I heard this movie's
sci-fi.
a lot of suspending your disbelief when it comes to that shit because
luckily, when it comes to science, space, and math, I'm a fucking idiot. So I didn't need to suspend my disbelief. Someone could tell me anything, I'd believe it. I literally just needed to embrace my ignorance of space.
Would you say this fills the void of an Ocean's 14 movie?
Yeah, I definitely would say that it would have been better if Matt Damon was a star who just was talking to Sandra Bullock at some point.
Yeah.
I kind of wish someone would do something like that where it'd be a really long stretch, but they would make at the end the reveal he'd be Danny Ocean that, or some kind of weird connecting universes across
it's a 90-minute teaser trailer for Ocean's 14.
Yeah.
They stretch across a broad scope of movies to bring together a connection that is completely unlikely. Danny Ocean divorced his wife and
became an astronaut.
Yeah. That's so good. Brad Pitt's in the end for some reason. I don't know. Or no, the Ocean's team, they go up to save them in the space station. That they have the Chinese guy do flips. I don't know.
You never know with those Oceans guys.
Yeah. So, Greg, what did you do this weekend, pal?
I bled.
Oh, God. What is that?
I bled a lot.
Congratulations, you've become a woman.
No, not like that. So Friday at work, I got a nosebleed out of nowhere. I was just sitting there at work, and my nose started bleeding.
You were thinking too hard.
Pretty much. My brain, it went over the tab. I bled
Greg,
out my nose.
speak like a person.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, I had a nosebleed at work, and I didn't think anything of it, really. I just said, okay, my nose is bleeding. I went and took care of it. Didn't really make a scene. And whatever, went about my day. That night, I went out drinking with my friend Ricky and this girl that I'm hanging out with, and we were out drinking, and they wanted to get me really drunk because neither of them have ever seen me really drunk, which is not a great thing to see or to be a part of, but they wanted to go there, so they went there. I got obliterated. I came home. I passed out. Really interesting, right? No, not at all. Boring as hell. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I feel very nauseous from everything I drank. The house is quiet. Can't hear anything. I slowly start to walk towards the bathroom. I turn the light on. I look down at the sink and I notice I start to feel this grumbling in my stomach, this sort of nausea.
Hold on. You start the explosions in the sky music or
some kind of
what the fuck?
The black hole music.
Godspeed, you Black Emperor music. Go ahead, keep going with the story.
So I look down in the sink and I say, I'm not even going to make it to the toilet. I'm going to have to throw up in the sink. But I'm actually really excited about this. I just want to get it over with. So I'm also like drinking lots of water. I'm just ready to get this over with. And I puke. But as I throw up, the clot, I guess, in my nose from earlier today explodes. And there is blood everywhere in the bathroom. There's blood all over the mirror, all over the wall. The sink is just filled with blood. So much blood. At the same time it's still happening, I'm coming down with a chest cold. So there's blood all over the sink and it's pouring out of my nose like a faucet, just like pouring out of my face, just so much blood, and I'm freaking out. I'm starting to get really shaky.
Greg thinks he's dying.
I think this is it. I can't stop the bleeding. I think this is it. I'm done. And at the same time that I'm bleeding, I'm throwing up. So like the stomach acid is like going into my nose. I'm vomiting, and my beard is just full of blood and vomit. And I'm just sitting there, and it's just the worst day of my life. And I call Ricky in because I'm freaking out and I think I'm gonna die. So I call Ricky in, and as Ricky comes in, I gag and then I cough up black blood, just mucousy black blood everywhere, and then my beard is just full of blood, and I'm tipping my head back, and the blood is just going down my throat, and I'm alive though. I'm fine.
What the hell happened to you? That's not the end of the story.
You know what happened? I dealt with it because I'm a fucking grown-up, okay?
Shut the fuck up! You just passed it off as a thing and just moved on?
I dealt with it. I stuck some shit in my nose and I said, you know what? Sometimes you gotta get the bad blood out to get some new blood.
Just fast forward 48 hours later, we're doing this podcast.
Pretty much.
You didn't see a doctor?
No, it was but
don't. You're making him nervous now, Josh. You realize?
Rick, how much blood was it? Too much blood, he said.
Did you at least Google like spontaneous?
I tried to.
Like,
the thing is, what happens when you Google the nosebleeds? Because nosebleeds are always really traumatic. Like people, or I should say, dramatic. Because it always looks worse than it is. And what it's 90% of nosebleeds are just because of whatever.
Dry skin or something.
10% can be, about something else. But the problem is not only was my nose bleeding, but I was like coughing up blood. But I wasn't coughing up blood because I was bleeding inside. I was coughing up blood because I was draining it down my throat, and I had like this drip, and I was. Anyway, it was a great weekend. I had a really good time.
Lost some weight, lost some blood.
Yeah, honestly, I do feel skinnier.
Oh.
That's crazy. And to be fair, like, so last Christmas I woke up from a nap, took out my contacts, and I had like a bubble on my eyeball.
Oh God, man. We have to put a warning. We have to put a warning before this podcast, like Jackass. Like, guys, things are gonna happen in this shit.
It isn't that bad. Just a little bit of blood and a little bit of eyeballs.
Eye bubble bothers me. The blood didn't. Eye bubble.
Right, but
it was really weird, and like literally, it came and went totally on its own. I did go to a doctor, and the doctor's like, I don't know, it looks better, I guess.
You got an eye bubble.
That was it.
That sounds like some kind of
just move
Apple
on, and like it hasn't happened ever since. So I guess sometimes the human body just freaks out, it straightens itself out, and you just move on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Josh, you went from very worried to applying your past experience to Greg's experience and saying, you know what, maybe life does find a way.
Life finds a way.
Yeah. Cool.
John, how was your weekend?
I had a very good weekend this weekend. Number one,
any or eye bubbles?
Eye bubbles
or nose bleeding
or bleeding.
Well, I got high speed internet finally.
That's
kind of the same thing.
Well, same thing. Eye bubble. I could download pictures of eye bubbles and blood a lot faster now. I got FiOS.
Yeah.
We got rid of Time Warner because they're awful in New York City and the surrounding areas. So I got FiOS, and now I have like a 75 megabyte download, 25 upload I'm jacked
Have
about
you
it.
downloaded any porn yet?
No, not yet.
I bet that's
I'm
gonna
waiting
go
on
fast.
it though. You know, I already got a whole plan.
You can do like multiple downloads at once though.
I got a whole day planned. Yeah, just right click, save as.
It's
right
kind of
click,
a silly
save
thing
as.
to do at this point of the internet. I mean, it's pretty much you can just go to websites and watch anything you want streaming. You know,
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's all pretty good stuff.
Yeah, right. All eye bubble blood porn.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh God.
So did that. We have the TV now, Fios TV instead of Direct TV. So everything's quicker, faster, easier to use. Everything's just better. I'm happy
Surprise,
about
surprise. DirecTV's garbage.
Well,
God, I hate this thing.
Time Warner is the absolute worst.
it. Yeah, Time Warner is notorious for being the worst. Infamous for being the worst.
It's endorsed by Sean Puffy Combs now, though.
Really?
Yeah.
What else? He owns sports teams. He owns vodka. He owns rap.
He's having a hard time right now.
What else? Okay, so Friday night, I guess we'll get into this story. I get home from work, and every year, the town I live in Queens, Maspeth, they have this event. They usually call it the fashion show for some reason, but it's actually a charity event where you go and you buy raffle tickets, and a lot of companies in the surrounding area, as well as major companies, donate things for you to win. And there's over 100 prizes. Things range from $50 gift cards to iPads, Louis Vuitton, Michael Kors bags, Louis Vuitton bags, $100, $300 gift cards to Marriott hotels, blah 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 blah, etc. So we get home. I get home from work, and the thing starts at 7. I didn't get home till about 6. And my mom was going with my grandfather, who gets tickets every year. He buys us all tickets. Well, I've never been actually, so he buys them all tickets. And my aunt was in from Pennsylvania, my grandfather's sister, and my grandmother was in. So it's like a family thing. It's more of like older folks go. It's a fun night out, local people, but there's some young people there. So they had an extra ticket, and they had asked Kate if she wanted to go because it's more of a girls thing. And she didn't really want to go. I can tell because I wasn't going to be there. She felt uncomfortable. So I went to see if they had another ticket, and it turns out we obtained one. I get the ticket. We all go, and it's in like a Knights of Columbus area in a church type place. It's pretty big though. There was probably like I don't know, probably like 200, 300 people there, something like that. Mostly older women, but not that old, ranging 30s, 40s, 50s.
Pretty old.
Yeah, well, mostly like 60s, 50s, I would say.
Isn't middle age the term to use there?
60s and 50s.
I think the term is GILF.
MILF. I would allow you to scope the situation. You probably could have done that on a need basis, like which one would be a GILF.
Did you take notes
on which were GILFs?
Yeah,
a little reconnaissance, as it were.
Yeah,
right. So when you first enter, you can buy a whole bunch. When you first enter, you can buy a whole bunch of tickets for each raffle. So the first tier is 7 tickets for $5, and all the prizes were about the $50 area, $60 area. So there was about 50 prizes they call. My mom won a Juicy Couture watch. It was kind of shitty, actually. It wasn't that nice. Sorry, Mom. But your watch is shitty. A little while after that, my grandfather won. They were on the list. They were called entertainment bowls. What do you think? What do you think an entertainment bowl is?
I'm gonna go and say it's a multi-purpose bowl. It's a bowl that has a section for a cup.
No. There's 3.
It's a package, right? Is it like a DVD in there and like tickets to a restaurant?
No.
That?
It's 3 bowls.
You got a bowl, and inside the bowl there's compartments for like a dip, chips, a drink holder.
They're fancy.
Yeah,
okay.
you have like 4 little slots to put chicken fingers
for
in.
Entertaining people. It's like when you entertain people.
Exactly. So it's just bowls that you put like I like Greg's idea more with compartmentalized.
There's like a mozzarella stick area, like 8 little holes. You stick your sticks in.
Like that's what they bring out at Applebee's. You're like, here's your entertainment dish. But it wasn't that. It was these 3 bowls. And then, I would have liked to have even won that. I was like, damn it, I don't want anything yet. It's getting late. I go to the next tier of things. They had food there, like your typical chicken marsala, sausage and peppers stuff. So they fed everybody. I was drinking beer like a man.
Beer?
Yeah, they had beer there. It was watered down Bud Light or something.
Bud Light.
Yeah, so something
watered down. But Bud Light's already pretty watered down.
Yeah, I think that the name gives that away. But anyway, so the next round goes by, and my grandmother wins like a $50 Kohl's gift card and some Halloween decorations, and people around me start winning all these things I want in the next tiers of tickets, like they were giving away a $100 Amazon gift card with a Paperwhite Kindle, and I was like, I want that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. Then they had one. It was like $100 gift card to 5 different places, so it was like $500 worth of gift cards to.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was called like shopping spree around the town. It was on the list, so you can get that, and that's what I really wanted. I wanted those things because you can go food shopping, you can get some electronic, do a little shopping.
So what was your strategy? Did you try and spread out your tickets? You just put them all into one thing?
Well, it's different. So on the highest tier one, you pick where your tickets go. On the other ones, they just draw based on each prize.
Oh, okay.
So we went through everything, and the table we were at won pretty well. At the end, they do a 50-50 raffle where they take a percentage of the money that they've got. I think they make something like $20,000 on this stuff, which is like incredible for the town. So they take a percentage of that money, and they do a 50-50 raffle. So I have 9 tickets for the 50-50 raffle. People were buying 20. People were spending a whole bunch of money. Like halfway through, the 50-50 raffle was at $500. And they do an announcement like, do you guys want to up it up? Let's go. Let's get this higher. Let's go 1,000. So they ended up getting to 1,000. It ended up being 1,500. So I'm ready to go home. It's like midnight at this point. It's gone on way too long. The beers have faded. I've drank coffee. I had my little dessert. Kate and I are falling asleep on each other. So, when you do a little lean and you're just ready to snore. So they go to announce the 50-50, and the woman's like telling jokes and stalling, and we're like, come on, we want to go home. Everyone wants to go home. So she's like, all right, starts calling out the number, and Kate's looking at my tickets. I'm not even looking at my tickets. And on my first row of tickets, I have, they're split up into 3. I said I had 9 tickets. So the first 3, second 3, and third 3. Kate's looking at the first 3, and she goes down as she's reading the tickets. She was like, 4, 8, 7, and Kate's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, what? No way. And she looks down and she goes, oh, like as she finishes the last one, she says, oh, we just missed it by 1. But then I go to my next tier of tickets, and I won something in my goddamn life.
Did you already say how much you won?
Well, $1,500.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money when you don't have it, and then you have it, and then it goes away. Because I immediately put it all into my savings account, saving it for next month. I want to save it for the console launch, and then whatever, just to, because Greg made a good point. What did you say before, Greg?
About having money?
Well, no, like I was saying, like I have a plan. I already had something in mind. Oh yeah,
no matter what, at this point, at least where me and John are at, we already have like things. We have like a list of things that we want. So when we get money, it's not like, oh, we got this money, we're gonna do something. What are we gonna do with it?
Right.
It's like, oh, I got the money. I can cross this off the list and this off the list.
There's no fun.
You already had that stuff. You didn't know how you were going to get it, but you were going to get it somehow, like with a credit card or something.
Right.
And now you just like found a way to, like, that money's gone.
Right. Like
it takes the veneer, like, when you're a little kid and you come upon a sudden windfall of money, you instantly will have access to things you didn't have access to before. Yeah. It's one of the things as an adult. It's the same thing with Christmas, right? Like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, all right, well, let's just take these things that I'm going to get for myself anyways. We'll just get them off the list.
Right. Like that's exactly right. Like I have a yearly 365-day Christmas list that's completely always ongoing, always on.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny how Greg put that. I imagine being in my room and there's like spots where these things could be, but they're
it's just like an outline of them.
There's transparent. They're
All
not
you're
quite
doing
there
is you're
yet.
just going to like the menu screen of your home
of
and
your
you're
life,
just purchasing the things you got to purchase.
Right.
Like, well, let's upgrade this. Let's upgrade this.
Like American Dream on the Ouya.
American Dream.
Yeah. I'll put that up this week. I put out the other 2. people seem to really like Amazing Frog.
Amazing Frog's amazing.
Amazing Frog's amazing. It's in the title.
It made everyone laugh so much. If you guys haven't watched our Amazing Frog Ouya video, it's so damn good. So check that out. So
yeah, check out all our Ouya stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, I still have to put up American Dream and Reaper.
Buying the stocks and now American Dream. You gotta see what you got. It's an American Dream. You gotta buy all the stuff. It's
I'm just
an
letting them go.
American Dream. American Dream.
Oh, Josh.
That was good.
I played him out.
That was good. So that was the weekend. Not bad. Oh, man. Actually, let's talk. The last we left off, it was a Saturday night, and you were still out here, Josh, and we haven't done our 4th day of Comic-Con yet, where we said we were going to play some games, and we did. What did we play, Josh? I forgot.
We got to see South Park, Stick of Truth, which looks interesting. It's way more turn-based than, like, I knew you had said this to me, John, when we were standing in line, but it's super turn-based. It also has like a weird interim screen between the turn-based combat and the simple moving around, where you're like farting and throwing farts at people and stuff like that. And it was, I don't know, I came away with a very mixed feeling about it. Like, I'm still interested and I'm still intrigued to play it, mostly because I want to see that property treated the way that it should be. So I'm interested to see what Matt Stone and Trey Parker can cook up for it. But the combat looks clunky, right? I mean, it didn't look very seamless.
It's a long time coming, this game, and I think that's the only reason I really even care about it anymore.
Yeah.
I love South Park. I mean, we all watched South Park since the beginning, right? You guys remember having all our South Park t-shirts, Greg? Do you have a South Park t-shirt?
I never had any apparel, but I watched this show all the time.
As did we. So there's really no apparent difference graphically from the show and the gameplay visually, and I think that's what people are excited about. But I think they are going to be distressed when they come to realize they're going to be playing like a really rudimentary turn-based RPG.
Yeah, I know it has a very Final Fantasy-esque feel to it in a lot of ways.
Right, it doesn't look complex. Like a radial wheel pops up. You know, you have your party on the left and the enemy party on the right, and a radial wheel pops up for each player, so you can do their ability. It looked okay. I don't know if I'm in the mood for that though. You know, especially so late in the game right now, and it's going to be a full title. Like you said, there's also that transitional screen where you could still perform actions, but
and you can almost feel the like confusion in the room, right? Like, so the first thing they show us is a cutscene that goes into a fight, and we're all kind of like, oh yeah, we know what this is. But then the scene that follows it, you're kind of moving cover to cover, throwing these spells, and you could just feel the people in the room with us being like, what is this? Is he in the combat screen? Is he out of it? I don't understand what's happening.
Right, because Comic-Con, you know, we discussed this in the last podcast, that it's probably only 25% to 40%.
Maybe even less than that.
Yeah.
Games, yeah.
Well, no, I mean like people who are gamers that attend, not so much the showcase of things. Yeah. Game, it's probably only about 15% game.
Yeah, it's really not much games.
I was going to say, and we didn't bring this up last week, but it really struck me when I got home at how fucking missed of an opportunity this was for Sony and Microsoft. Like,
right.
Because you have all of these non-gamers who, let's face it, anyone who's anyone at this point would be, what's this, the PS4? Oh, cool. I want to play with the PS4.
Yeah, and I mean, so, the Nintendo booth was the most packed booth at the conference, if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, could you imagine if there was a Microsoft and Sony booth? Like, those things would have been jam-packed with all this free advertisement.
When Greg and I stepped up to play Killer Instinct, immediately they said Xbox One, and immediately, like,
there was 100 people.
100 people behind us. Yeah. And I couldn't imagine if they had a booth. I wonder, I don't know about Sony, but I know because of Microsoft, they're doing their state tour right now. Is the only excuse I could think that maybe they want to focus all their resources on that and rather not have a booth at Comic-Con. But then why not like set that up at Comic-Con and then have it tour
Yeah, launch it from
That's so
Comic-Con.
strange.
For that
It's a
matter.
strange. It's a strange. You would think that's like a good demographic for them, and they just,
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
They had I guess. Sorry, the one excuse that I could find at this point is they've already sold. Like, I mean, both Sony and Microsoft are already fine for the launch, right? Like, they've both sold enough units where most of them, like, they're having trouble meeting that production like a couple of weeks down the road. So what the fuck does it matter if they move? They're not trying to sell anything more for mid-November. And so who's going to play it at Comic-Con that's going to remember it, 6 months from now, 5 months from now, that won't get to experience it naturally in the wild at a Target or, like you said, the tour. So maybe that's the thought process, but it still seems like a missed opportunity.
With how close we are to launch, I mean, a day. Well,
they
when
have
you're
them
listening
in
to this,
Best Buys, don't they now? Or isn't there Xbox Ones in Best Buys?
No, PS4s. They just did a little ship out to Best Buys, and a couple other stores. But we're 1 month away from Xbox One and 3 weeks or so away from PS4 now, and probably one of the biggest months of the year in terms of releases. And major title releases like Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, Assassin's Creed 4, not Watch Dogs anymore. Unfortunately, they were delayed, but we'll talk about that. You would think that some of that would have been there. I mean, I know Assassin's Creed was, but just the multiplayer. Like, wouldn't you think that they would have had Call of Duty, like one thing playable or anything? They have nothing. I mean, I guess they're not concerned with sales, Yeah,
I don't know. It still like you always talk about like how is the video game industry going to expand and whatnot. This seems like the perfect and most natural setting for it to grow, right? And these are people who are generally nerdy people. They're not the type of people who are going to be instantly dismissive of a video game. Like, they're the people who are watching Star Wars cartoons and Avatar and Spider-Man
dude, you know
X-Men.
what? You know what comes out next month? Fucking Marvel Lego. Where was that?
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And
okay.
It seems like a completely missed opportunity. It's next month for next gen and PC, but tomorrow comes out on console.
Right. It's a launch title for everything else, right?
Yeah, it's a super weird launch that they're doing, but yeah, I mean, that seems like the perfect opportunity to get people in front of it. Or fucking Batman Arkham Origins.
Right.
You don't find a better setting for that game.
Well, didn't they have Blackgate there on a Vita or something? Didn't you see Blackgate somewhere?
It was on a 3DS, yes,
oh, okay.
amidst the Pokemon and the links and all that stuff.
So we did get to play Super. What's it even called?
We said Super Mario Land 3D, right?
Super Mario Land? No. What the hell's the name of that game? I always say it and then I always screw it up because it's like Super Mario 3D World. There it is.
It's Land, isn't it? I could swear it's Land, but whatever.
Land is the Game Boy version.
I believe it's World.
It's World.
Oh, okay.
Because we made fun of it because there's a whole bunch of World games.
Yeah.
Right? Remember? Well, anyway,
Okay.
that game's really fun. I can't wait till that comes out. It was, we played real briefly, Josh and I, with 4 people, and it was kind of confusing. I think the real fun's going to come in the single player for that game.
It didn't look fun.
Yeah, not with 4 people.
Watching you guys play didn't look fun.
But it felt good, and I think it's going to take us back to.
I think 2 is going to be the sweet spot for that game. I think that you want 2 people playing it. Anything more than that's going to be confusing and chaotic, which is fun in its own way. But
that's the same way that new Super Mario is too. Wii U, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't even keep up with these Mario titles anymore. Well, they also had Sonic Lost Worlds, another Worlds game. Excuse me. And that released this weekend.
it must have been. You own the Wii U.
Yep. But this game I did not care about because if we're all familiar with the Sonic cycle, this game filled another position in that cycle, apparently, based on the reviews. Apparently didn't do so hot. So, yeah, I probably won't be trying that anytime soon anyway. It's a shame, but whatever. Look forward to Sonic and Super Smash. Whatever.
And you get to play the Olympics, right? Aren't they doing a Sonic and Mario Sochi 2014?
Whatever. Fucking 1080 snowboarding Sonic Dream Team. I don't know. We also got to watch Dark Souls 2 for a little while, which was really fun.
That was awesome. That was a really cool experience.
We watched one guy battle this boss for like 15 minutes. He had a crowd around him, and he finally beat him, and everyone cheered. It was cool. It was neat.
And you could feel, once again, it's one of those ones you could feel the crowd tension as this guy would like get his life way down, then he'd heal himself again, and his life would drop again, and he'd heal himself again. He'd do some more damage to that monster. And if like I turned to John, I'm like, do you want to get in line? We could probably get in line. John's like, I just want to watch this. I just want to watch this happen. And I was like, all right. Well, let's do it.
There's a certain amount of pressure that comes with putting your hands on a Dark Souls controller, like a controller that you're like, oh fuck, like I don't remember how to dodge roll and fucking riposte and backstab, and I don't remember that. And this guy was doing really well, and like you said, people were gasping and cheering. It was really it was cool. It made me I wish like single player gaming could be a spectacle, because Dark Souls could probably draw a crowd if you were really good. You know, like watch someone go through a whole single player experience. I don't know. I think that's cool. What else was at Comic-Con? That's it. We talked about Comic-Con enough. There's so many games right now on the
we gotta fucking beeline it through these games
on the docket. But I've talked enough. Josh, what have you played recently?
Do you want me to start with Device 6?
Yeah, because I downloaded it today, but I did not play it. Go ahead and start with that. It's an iOS game, right?
Yeah, and it grabbed me because it's the guys. It's I'm gonna say their name wrong. It's Simogo, I think, and they're the team that did Yearwalk. And right. Yearwalk is my favorite iOS game I've played thus far. Where it felt like, you know, people often say like, "Oh, these mobile games are the future," and I often go like, "Yeah, if you want to play, you know, running games, or if you want to just swipe on your pad all day." Where like Yearwalk felt like something that was legitimately different, and that's I was like, "Oh, I can see how this would be fun and how this would be interesting." And I felt the exact same way with Device 6. And Device 6 is a text adventure game for the most part. There's no, and you're literally reading, but as you're reading, you're getting sound effects. So when you're walking down a hall, you're scrolling the text to the right and you can hear your footsteps walking. And you're like, it'll say you open a door and walk through the door, and you'll hear the door open and you walk through, which is, you could call it a cheap effect if you want, but I thought it was cool. It was a different way to take in a game. And then throughout the text, there are puzzles. So like you'll say you come across an elevator and you'll see these two like little buttons to press on the elevator. And it won't mean anything to you until like you get to a spot where it's like you come to a locked door and it won't say anything. And you literally have to figure out where the puzzles are. And this game does not hold your hand at all. It is hard.
I like
it. It is like super difficult in figuring out like, it won't tell you what the puzzle is. You have to sit there and figure out like what it is. And sometimes it's just dicking around.
I did play Yearwalk for a bit. I didn't go through it, but it seems like, while there is only certain directions you can go, it's the same thing. They really didn't help you very much with clues.
Exactly. Like you just kind of like literally you're swiping around and you'll just suddenly go, oh, I can move this. Oh, I can touch this. This must have something to do with this. And like the word, like this is much more heavier on word games than Yearwalk is. But it's amazing. It's like super, super engaging just in that sense where you literally have to sit there and it's giving you verbal clues. Like this bear will start talking to you and it'll give you a riddle and you have to sit there and be like, what is this riddle? And it's almost a game that you have to play while you're not playing it. You have to like start it on the train and you'll get to work and you'll be working and you're still thinking about it. You're like, okay, this is what he said. This is what he said to me. And then you'll pull out your phone. You just got to kind of look. You just want to go back a couple pages and what was the exact thing that he said to me again? What is he referencing? So I thought that was really impressive.
Are you familiar with the book House of Leaves?
Very vaguely.
Okay. Well, I'm wondering because, it's a book in print, obviously, but it's a very cryptic book in that it plays with typography a lot. Okay. Where if something is spiraling, the words will spiral. There will be words will dissipate on the page as you progress. They will form shapes, things like that. Is that kind of similar, or are you actually seeing an elevator, or is everything like what's the visual style?
There's some pictures, like they'll have black and white pictures around, but aside from that, like it's all descriptive. However, the cool thing is, like for instance, you're going up a spiral staircase. You're gonna have to like pull the words into a spiral as you climb the staircase, and that's like it's very subtly engaging.
That sounds interesting. I have it downloaded on my phone. I probably won't get to it. I have a couple of games to play this week because I made a couple of haphazard purchases over the weekend. Go ahead and ask me what I bought this weekend, Greg.
John, what did you buy?
I bought Pokemon X.
Gotta get them all.
Oh, man.
Charizard, Blastoise, Squilliador,
I wanna be the
Bellator,
very best.
Now it's like fucking
Pokerap.
Zigzagoon
Zigzagoon,
and...
Polygon, Mortho, Fit 5000,
Dude,
Chandler,
you know, I was really
Dragonabon.
thinking, playing this Pokemon game, I was thinking like, there are over 600 and something Pokemon now, right? Something like that.
600 and
Okay.
something.
How many of them do you think they had to draft before they got to 600 and something?
None. They just did like,
Like,
like
what
a
are
fucking
all the
triangle
Pokemon
guy.
that-
They put little funny legs on him. They're like, triangle feet guy. And how do they make that sound better? Trung feet
Yeah, like-
Trung feet eye.
Trunk
And
feet.
let's face it, like when you're playing Pokemon, you're looking at Pokemon, it's not hard to imagine the source material, right? Like no one looked at Bulbasaur and said, wow, what an amazing animal. How'd they ever dream that guy up? Like, it's
Right.
like, hey, they took a fucking tulip, shoved it on the back of this thing, and that's how they got this.
But there has to be rejected Pokemon, right? There has to be.
Oh, in a very dark corner, and they're the saddest.
They must be
fucking
so
creatures.
bad. Because I've seen some pretty bad ones.
Yeah,
so.
like that's what I'm thinking. I'm going through these new ones, and it's like a fucking monkey with broccoli on his head. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this thing? This looks like, it's like, kill me, please kill me. And
It's got to be one of the worst creative jobs in the world, right?
but I can't imagine their standards. Like, okay, does he have feet on his head? Does he have wings on his back? Like, oh my god, I really want to know. I want a transcript of what that creative draft meeting is like going through Pokemon, like denied, accepted, denied. What do we name this one? Deny, accept. Like, okay, they accept the Pokemon who's got broccoli on his head, right? They accept him. Like, okay, what do we call him now?
And then they have to like just they get the boggle and just shake it up and just throw the letters out there and go, all right, well, let's get a nice mix of consonants and vowels.
So I'm playing through Pokemon X, and it's really, it's fucking great. Like, it's Pokemon again. I haven't done that since Blue and Red when I was a kid. I've avoided them all since because I was opposed to, adding the new Pokemon. But visually, it's a really great game for the 3DS, and I do have that sense of slight, not catch 'em all, but I do have a sense of like slight addiction that they try to get you with because you level up. They level up really quickly, and they also don't overcrowd you with a bunch of bullshit Pokemon all the time. Like I have a Charizard or a Charmeleon right now. I have a I had a Weedle that turned into a Kakuna that turned into a Beedrill.
Beedrill.
Yeah, right. So all these things are pulling on my nostalgia strings, and I'm remembering like when they evolve. I haven't looked anything up, so when they evolve, I'm like, oh yeah, I think this guy turns into, and then he turns into a Beedrill. I'm like, oh cool, like I remember it from when I'm a kid, and I don't know. I think it's medicinal when you don't play Pokemon since you were 11 to come back and play it now. So I totally recommend it to you guys if Josh, you have a 3DS. I totally recommend it. I'm having a lot of fun, but it still seems like not much has changed in the Pokemon world. Like, go here, get this trainer. Like you have to move the Snorlax off the bridge, get the flute. Same thing, same exact thing. But graphically, it's beautiful. There's these mega evolves now. There's these different evolved states. There's a lot of different types of Pokemon. I remember when I played, it was only like earth, fire, water, grass, right? Or were there more?
You had earth, you had a fire, you had ocean, you had a grass.
Water.
Yeah.
Psychic. Isn't there the psychic one?
Psychic, yeah, Psyduck and all those guys. Yeah, so now there's like fighting Pokemon, Steel. See, I haven't been Pokemon training for a long time, so it's really really nutty. But some of the new guys are pretty cool. Like I picked Froakie. Froakie was my first Pokemon. What do you think Froakie is, guys? Go ahead and take a guess.
Froakie is a little fox.
Is he a frog?
No. He's a frog. He's a frog.
Yeah, he's a magical frog.
Fennekin is the fox.
Oh, right. Like a fennec fox. A fennec fox.
So Froakie, see what they did was they say, okay, they said, we have a frog. Okay, what noise does it make? A frog make?
Quack.
Croak.
Quack.
A frog croaks.
Quack.
So they go froak. And
Quack.
what What makes it cute? Add like a Y or an IE at the end. Froakie, okay.
Or they're watching the Avengers with their pet frog, and they say, I like that Loki guy. You, frog, are going to mold with Loki, and you're going to be Froakie.
Maybe, but they spell it F-R-O-A-K-I-E. So it says croak. It's not... Yeah, it's not Frocky or Froakie.
That is there. They have very, very talented people working there at Pokemon Studios.
So I find myself in battles with wild Pokemon and Pokemon trainers across the land. And I send a Pokeball out, and I find myself sitting there like, come on, catch it. Come on. Yes, or fuck. And then I look at myself in the mirror and go, what the fuck am I doing?
Then you got to go to bed. You got to wash your face at night, and you look into that mirror and you see the eyes of a lost man.
You can't go to bed until you catch them all.
I see the eyes of the most ambitious Pokemon trainer in the world.
I do have to say that's the glory of Pokemon, though, right? Is that loop. The gameplay loop is just immensely addictive.
Well, they do a lot to push you along in this one. I don't know if they've had them in past one since the beginning, but there's group XP. So if you have a Pokemon that's not in battle, they still get half the XP that the Pokemon in battle got. If you have more than one Pokemon in battle, they split the XP, and then the other Pokemon get the other half. Yeah, so they worked out some ways to... There are really complex ways to play Pokemon, so I just kind of play the surface game. People often say that Pokemon is a game of rock, paper, scissors that got completely out of hand. But it's much, much, much deeper than that. There's like charts that people study to face off. People play Pokemon competitively. Can you believe that?
Yeah, no. I always say that it's like a lame loser fest full of a bunch of virgins who can't get anything done with their lives.
Right.
You know, that's what I think of Pokemon.
Okay. Well, you want to borrow it or?
Can I borrow Pokemon Yellow?
I don't have Yellow. I had Blue. I don't even think I played Red.
I had Blue, Red, and Yellow.
Did you?
Yeah, I stuck with it through
Greg.
Yellow.
Yeah.
Then I grew the fuck up, John.
Yeah, right. I see them right there.
I had the Pokemon.
Yes, I do. Everyone on the podcast who's listening right now, Greg has his Pokemon games framed above his bed. He has the special Pikachu Nintendo 64.
He is such a fucking
Greg,
liar.
you love Pokemon
all right,
Snap.
I got
you
all
love
this.
Pokemon Snap.
You know what? There's some truth to that statement. I do love Pokemon Snap.
There you go. There's not some truth. There's truth.
There's some truth to that statement. I do love Pokemon Snap.
Did you also play Pokemon Stadium?
Yeah, I didn't like it too much. It was fun, but I was too good at it.
See, I never played any of these games.
I was a
Greg.
Pokemon master.
You've played way more Pokemon games than I have.
Hey, you know. Hey.
Right.
I played the card game that and I couldn't figure out the card game, so I just get the cool Pokemon. So I'd be like, well, this one wins because he's cooler.
It's
clearly.
so funny that I know people that collected the cards. Well, Kate included. Kate collected them because her brother did, and no, they didn't play. They just collected the cards, so they're familiar with the Pokemon. You know, so I'll be playing Pokemon. She's like, "Oh, is that a Squirtle?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, what do you know about that, girl? And she doesn't know. That's it.
She's got to learn.
Yeah, she does. You got to take her through Pokemon Snap, Greg. Go on a safari.
I'll show her the Pokemon and how to like properly make them evolve and get the right shots.
Yeah, they need to get the right shots. That's very important for Pokemon. So, Josh, we also played Telltale's new joint.
Oh yeah, The Wolf Among Us. I'm excited to talk about this.
Yeah, The Wolf Among Us was a really good start for the Fables story brought to you by Telltale Games. So, Josh, you've read more of Fables than I have. What did you think of this beginning to the series?
I really like it, and I'm not married. Like, I'm not what someone would call a hardcore fan. Fables Con just happened recently, and clearly I didn't go, so you can tell instantly I'm a poser fan of Fables. But I've read them, and The Wolf Among Us is different in a lot of ways. It is far more graphic and gritty and noir-esque than the real Fables universe is. And like, it doesn't feel out of place, but it feels like, you know how like different artists will do runs of comic books?
Right.
And that's what it feels like. It feels like this is just the Telltale run of Fables, which is good. And I feel like their world is really interesting and a good fit, but it just feels different than the comics.
Well, so far what I take from it is that it's pretty brutal.
Oh yeah.
Especially coming off of a zombie game where you have, shotgun blasts to the head and lots of blood. They start off pretty morbid with this game. Well, for those of you who are not familiar with Fables is a book series by, what's his name?
Bill Willingham.
Bill Willingham. I always forget his name because it's it's Will Willingham, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, where fictitious characters from things like Aesop's Fables and Grimm fairy tales and a lot of old child lore, they come together in this world where they've been banished from their stories, I guess, and they live in this place called Fabletown, which is basically, well, the part of it. They live in New York City, and they live under the guise of what they call glamours, which makes things like Big B, the big bad wolf, who is the main protagonist in the game, they make him appear human. Same goes for a lot of the other characters. Any of these characters that are not, say, like Beauty from Beauty and the Beast or Snow White or anybody of those human, Prince Charming, they don't need these disguises. So they all live in this town where it's just picture Sin City plus childhood fairy tales. I guess that's an okay explanation, right?
Yeah. And it's very interesting, because in the game, it's a very self-contained plot, whereas the majority of the Fables comic deals with the reason why they're banished and what happened to their homes while they were gone. And this is very much, and I like that. I like that. Telltale did this with The Walking Dead too, where they said, we want to play in your universe, but we don't want to tell your story. We're just going to do our own thing.
I think. Go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
I think the reason why the violence stands out so much is because coming off of The Walking Dead, you kind of expected. The Walking Dead has a very nihilistic quality to it, and the violence is expected of a zombie game. It's supposed to be gory. But you hear this premise about these fairy tales living in our world. Oh, how whimsical. And then immediately it's like the woodsman is sitting there with a broken jaw, spitting out blood after smacking a hooker with a black eye. It is very graphic. But I like that. I really like that it is it feels mature.
Well,
right?
it's for people that have not read Fables. I've only probably read the first 3 or 4 issues. This is definitely still a must play, but like Josh said, don't go in expecting this. Go in to fully realize that this is a complete juxtaposition from where our traditional fables are, and that's the appeal, is that they're juxtaposed into this gritty 1970s 80s New York where crime is rampant and people are doing drugs and there's, it's unruly, unregulated. There's a sheriff. They call him a sheriff. Bigby's the sheriff. So it's very much akin to, unregulated, unlawful New York mixed with the Wild West mixed with, Grimm's fairy tales.
And I love that, this feels almost more genre than The Walking Dead did. They are really going for this noir feel. It has that amazing opening, title screen where it says, the fairy tales have escaped to New York and use glamour spells to protect themselves. And then it has, then the final line comes up and it says, Bigby Wolf protects them from each other.
So in the beginning, dude, some of those scenes, if they were taken still frames, are beautiful works of art.
Oh, they're so good.
The use of color in this game makes Walking Dead look gray.
Yeah.
Completely gray.
It looked, and I never even realized it till I was writing about it, and I was like, Walking Dead was washed out, especially compared to this game, which has these beautiful contrasts of light and dark and purples and yellows and blacks and blues. It's amazing.
Not to mention, you can see that Telltale has found their stride because button prompts are no longer in diamond shape, option forms. Now you have QuickTime events that are happening, but the button prompts are stylized. Everything is in perspective. The game really feels a lot more put together than The Walking Dead.
I agree. I feel like there are still long loading screens that kind of take me out of it. They're shorter than The Walking Dead, I believe, and they don't come in quite so jarringly as The Walking Dead did, where like you would start hearing something talk, but it would just get a still frame. You constantly lived in fear that game was crashing on you.
Where did you play it, Josh? What
I played it on the Xbox.
See, I played it on the Xbox too, and there were frame rate drops. It was totally not cool. Moments where it'd be switching from frame to frame, and there'd be a quick time event or a moment of climax or something where it was completely shunned by frame rate loss. So I think if you're going to play this, play it on PC or PS3.
I wanted to, but Xbox has the exclusive. They're getting it a day early.
Right.
And I couldn't help I was like, I want to play it now. I don't want to have to wait.
Right. I mean, it's completely playable, but I think it's the same thing with The Walking Dead where it did suffer some performance issues, but
yeah,
totally play it. We also skipped, Josh, while we're talking about this kind of game. We didn't talk much about Beyond Two Souls because of Comic-Con last week.
Yeah. And that game is the thing. How did you like the end of that game?
I didn't, I don't know if you softened the blow for me, but I didn't dislike it as much as you, or at least the direction it was going. We're not going to do any spoilers, Josh, or anything like that, because I still, everyone should play that game. It's very fun to play co-op. Josh didn't play it co-op, but Kate played it with me. She played as Aiden on my iPhone. I had the app on the phone, and she did well. We had a really good time going through the story. I think I have a much greater respect for the game after I realized that there's over 20 endings. When I got to the end, it felt like maybe there was 4 or 5 I could have gotten. But then, since I was doing a little bit of trophy hunting, I was trying to see what I missed or what other choice I could have taken, and it's not as obvious as a lot of games try to be with telling you your path. You can make subtle decisions in the game that will alter the game for the rest of the game.
People, and like, as opposed to Telltale, which very much will say like, someone will live and someone will die here. You must make a choice.
Right.
Beyond Two Souls, I didn't even realize kind of until I was at the end and was looking back that there are a lot of people that can die, and I had no idea. I didn't even realize that was something that was
everyone
possible.
Can die, everyone can live. It is incredible, and it's so much as having Jody be like, the difference between making a response that's bitter or cold or friendly. Like, depending on that response, that will jurisdict like the rest of the game. And that gives me like a fucking anxiety attack. I'm like, man, I want to explore all options of the game, but I guess I have a little bit of solace in knowing that like these were my decisions and I'm sticking with them because that's the gut feeling I went with.
Yeah. I didn't feel quite on edge as I did with Heavy Rain, because with Heavy Rain, literally, and I didn't even realize this playing Heavy Rain until it happened, but characters can just die. Like if you aren't playing that game, if you aren't paying attention, I got lackadaisical. I was just like, well, I'll figure this out. Oh God, this character's dead and gone. He's not here anymore. He doesn't exist in this plot anymore. And like, those are the characters you're playing as. You are those characters. And whereas Beyond Two Souls will kill people, but they're normally extemporaneous characters. And like, I didn't realize the weight of having people or losing people until the end.
Right. But you do make some pretty hefty decisions in that game, and it's probably, being that there's not too much gameplay that goes with it other than, subtle actions. If you're familiar with Heavy Rain, and you understand. But goddamn, that game is gorgeous.
The motion capture is amazing.
Yes.
And like, people can scoff all they want, but I really enjoyed Page's and Defoe's performance. I thought their performances added a lot of weight to that game, exactly in the way that Heavy Rain's performances subtracted from that game.
Right. Well, they carried not even Defoe and Ellen Page, but even the child actor who played Jodie's younger self, and the guy who played Cole. Like, the acting performance in this game was top notch. I guess translating over to a game, it probably changes the expectation from a film, but it carried the game. The narrative totally carried it. It was the performance, rather, and maybe not the narrative, because like Josh has some qualms about what happens towards the end of the game.
I really liked the beginning, and like I know people hated that it swung around, and I was like, whatever. And it does swing around pretty ambivalently, where it just you're young, now you're old, now you're young, now you're old. It doesn't seem to have a lot of reason to why it's doing that. But I enjoy the self-contained stories that are told there. You know, I find it much more interesting than trying to like people like I just want to play the game straight from when young Jody to old Jody, and I was like. But why is that better? I don't understand why that's particularly better than playing it as, you know, than jumping around the way they did. And I think in some ways it helps because like the way that they bring up where Aiden's from and what other creatures are like Aiden only works because you get a bunch of scenes that establish what Aiden is. And if you're playing that game in chronological order, you don't get a lot of those scenes. You don't particularly get her connection to him before you're thrown into events that would be difficult to understand. So I forgive Cage a bit for that. I just hit a point at the end where I thought the story took a giant left turn and I started laughing.
See, I didn't find that turn to be so sharp of a turn. I almost expected it, honestly, because the game does have to ramp up without getting into too much detail. It does have to find its climax.
And I guess I never so the stuff that I disliked the most about that game is anything that was Jody fighting people.
It was,
you know what it was.
Oh, well, yeah, let's get there for a second. So during the combat, man, so say you're fighting a dude. I don't want to even say his setting or whatever. And he's coming at you and he's swinging at you. You have to, the only visual cue you have for what direction to put the thumbstick in is based on the direction they're swinging at you with. Right? So sometimes when they swing at you, you parry it by pushing forward. Or sometimes you duck out of the way. And the game is really bad at letting you know which to do.
Yeah.
I think the combat is the worst part in that game. If you want to call it combat, the action you must perform while Jody, the character, is in combat. Those are definitely the weakest parts by far, Josh.
Definitely, I agree. I also just like any time that this game tried to I very much enjoy the self-contained story of how this girl and this element exist together. Mm-hmm. That's interesting to me. I enjoy that. I even find something kind of emotionally poignant about that,
right? Where
it's not trying to be anything. It's just like, imagine that you had something with you that you could never get rid of. How would that fuck with your life as a kid, as an adult? It's just trying to get through your day-to-day shit.
Right. Sorry, go
ahead.
No, our conversation is pointing in a direction right now that I don't want to get too far down the road, just in case anybody chooses to play this. But it is nice playing games like Gone Home sometimes. I know Greg is not a huge fan, but
no, I thought it was fine. That's a midway rating. That's like a middle rating. That's a bingo.
Or a game like, oh man, the Stanley Parable, which we'll get to. But
did Josh play that?
No,
I have not played it yet. But I'm excited to.
Overall, Beyond was a fantastic game. I recommend it to anybody. To play it with someone, I think would be better. Like Josh, you played it with Ty, didn't you? Or he played it?
He was just watching me.
At least have someone watch, because it's fun to have discussion. It's like watching a movie with an intelligent person that you can like bounce suggestions and possible outcomes off of each other. That's where the fun is in the game for me. Like trying to figure out Nathan's character, trying to figure out Jody, and then being wrong or being right. And being like, aha, those are the fun parts. Mechanically, the game suffers big time. There's a cover system.
Ugh,
yeah,
woof.
Total woof. I mean, play it, though. Play it. I'll give it 5 high fives and lemon Italian ice. And Pillow Gregg, what would you give it?
The thing about lemon Italian ices is that they're only good if you flip them over and eat the crystals.
I have to say that's the first time I agree with Pillow Gregg on anything.
You gotta eat the flavor crystals on Italian ices. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, Greg. Greg, you gotta get a hold of Pillow Gregg.
Jeez, I can't contain him.
Yeah,
he's out of control. I kind of like it though. He's a wild card.
Yeah, he is. He chimes in once in a while. He gives that little bit of advice, and he's out.
That was some philosophical shit right there.
The only time you get what you want is when you flip it over and you get to the bottom of it.
And you eat the crystals.
Gotta eat the crystals.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Pillow Gregg. Hope you stop by again soon. Lock the door on the way out, all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Not you, Greg.
Pillow
Pillow Gregg.
Yeah.
Not you.
No.
So, yeah, I give it a 5 high fives. The Stanley Parable, guys.
Yeah, you were raving about this.
God,
Tell me more.
play the Stanley Parable. All right, well, Stanley Parable was a Half-Life mod on the Source engine first. The full release came out a few days ago. And it's so hard to talk about the Stanley Parable, let me tell you.
And you know what? Don't. Shut up.
I'm not gonna say much about it. I'm just gonna say it's on sale right now for $11. I only played it
$12.
$11.99. You're right, Greg.
It's $12.
$12. Well worth it. The only time a short game was very well worth it for this. I probably wouldn't spend more than $15 on it, but I've played it for about 3 hours and I've already had probably the most fascinating experience of the year playing a video game.
How deep? So you said it's short. How short are we talking?
Well, I said this isn't a huge spoiler, but I've spent about almost close to 3 hours playing, like I said, but you can beat the game in about 4 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not going to say much more.
Interesting.
But it is, oh, man. Please play that game. I want to talk about it.
I will.
I wish I could.
I'm very intrigued.
I wish I could.
I know. Unfortunately, it's Windows only right now. So I have boot camp running on mine. Greg's got to come over and play it. But let me tell you, what was more interesting than playing the Stanley Parable was sitting Kate down and me watching her play the Stanley Parable. Damn, dude. Like,
interesting.
I felt like a scientist watching a lab rat go through a maze. It was so interesting to watch someone right after I did it.
What if she would have beaten it in 4 minutes? Would you think less of her as a person?
No, it was just fascinating watching. She would look over at me like, should I go? Should I do this? And I look at her and be like, just give her that look. Like, I'm not saying anything.
You got to make up your own mind. You got to live your own life.
Follow your own decisions.
Follow your own dreams.
Follow your heart.
Follow your soul.
You can never go wrong.
You can always go wrong.
You can never go wrong.
You can always go wrong.
Interesting, Greg. It's all a matter of perspective, isn't it?
It's all a matter of perspective.
Guys, play the Stanley Parable. God, what do I say? It's clever. It's funny. It's funny in the way Portal 2 is funny. The writing is fantastic. It carries it. It raises questions. It makes you laugh. It makes you
cry.
It makes you happy. It makes you sad. It makes you glad. It makes you mad.
Question your existence when you're playing as a game.
Yes, you do. You question your existence. You question the existence of all things. You question what your purpose is in life. Like, this game is it's like existential, but also just, I haven't had a bigger smile on my face playing a game since when I got to a certain part in BioShock Infinite. It was, I'm telling you right now, my top 3 games of the year right now are
BioShock Infinite,
BioShock, Last of Us, and the Stanley Parable. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. Grand Theft Auto can take number 4.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
all right.
I think, Josh, you're right. We should definitely do some of the end of the year stuff. I think we should do that soon before new console shit starts going fucking crazy.
Oh, wow. You want to do it before new consoles?
Or do you want to do it after? Should we do it in November? Because then we're in December already.
It's not.
Well, I mean, if we get to December, because the end of December is going to be a fucking deadland anyways. So that might be a good time to do it.
Also, I don't think it's not really fair to include any next-gen games into this year's.
Oh, do you think we should exclude them? I mean, let's be fucking honest. Like, I was looking at those launch titles today, and I don't have any of those pegged as going to be a top 10 game. They all look fucking
Greg, what
terrible.
do you, like, say you were to get a PS4. I know you don't have one reserved, but say that was your first, you're going to pick one up on the 12th and you're going to get it. or what is it, 15th? 15th. What games do you get?
You gotta go for the Killzone.
Killzone.
You got to go for the Killzone.
And what else?
Battlefield.
You'd get Battlefield for PlayStation?
No, actually, you're right. I'd get it for Xbox.
Right.
But say you were just getting a PS4, would you get Battlefield?
Oh, okay. So let's just say you're getting a next gen console. What games do you buy?
Okay. Well, Battlefield is definitely on the list.
Right.
Then.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, am I talking about all consoles now or just PlayStation?
We'll say PlayStation and Xbox.
PlayStation. Okay.
Just PlayStation games. What the fuck's it called? No, Superpower Guy.
Infamous, but that's not a release game.
No,
that's in spring.
What other release games are coming out for PS4?
Knack, a bunch
Killzone.
of.
I already said Killzone.
He said Killzone's
Wake
indefinite.
up. Wake
Dead Rising
up.
3.
Oh, Dead Rising 3.
Dead Rising 3. I mean, like, when you look at this lineup, though, you know, Dead Rising 3, Call of Duty, fucking Killzone, like, these titles are definitely release titles. Like, I don't think any of these stories are going to set some kind of precedent for things to come.
I did just watch a Killzone video, and it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, I've been playing, actually, Killzone 3 this week, just to get acquainted. I should let you borrow it, Greg. I think you'd really like it. It's like one of those. I needed a mindless shooter after playing all these psychological games, especially shit like Beyond, and then Stanley Parable, blah blah blah, all this crap. So I've been playing Killzone 3, and it's good. It's like Gears of War in terms of like how rudimentary bro fucking high five and machine gun shit it is, but I guess you need that once in a while. Graphically, really great. I'm also a really big fan now. I was never a Killzone guy, but I'm a really big fan of the character design in that game. The Hellghast are done really, really well. So I'm glad I played Killzone 3 before. Fuck's it called? Shadowfall?
Shadowfall, yeah.
Right.
I'm also looking forward.
And then you got the racing games. There's Forza and...
I think I'm going to do Need for Speed, and that's it.
Need for Speed?
Yeah.
There's another... Oh, and Rise, the fucking Roman...
Oh,
game.
yes. That game looks like it's not going to be what they're advertising.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
It's gonna be like GTA
actually,
Online. It's what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be like, oh, you can do anything in this world. Actually, you can't do anything in this world. It's just a big old lobby for you and your friends to hang out in.
I'm glad Dan's not here. Sorry, Dan, but GTA 5 Online is very boring now. Anyway, keep going, Josh. Sorry.
I'm intrigued by the time period. I like historical. I really wish that there were more historical fiction games in like a third person setting. Like there's a lot of RTS historical fiction games, but aside from Assassin's Creed, that is a very like small niche of games that fit
I don't
into
know
that.
what you mean, bro. God of War is like, didn't that?
I hate that game.
Whoa.
I hate
Also,
that franchise.
the gameplay footage they showed of Rise was pretty intense. It was pretty much just all
QTEs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping that it's not too much of that. But even like when they was doing just regular combat, it still looks pretty stiff. Who knows? Like I'm hoping it'll surprise me.
Coming off of these games that I'm playing, whatever. If the game is advertising itself as QuickTime events, and I'm going to buy it and I'm going to play it, and it's beautiful and it services a purpose. It serves a purpose. Then fine. I mean, I don't want to get Rise. I don't think it looks very good. But like you said, Josh, just having a period piece like that isn't like fantastic or extravagant, where you're like pulling heads off minotaurs and stuff, where it's actually like, historical.
Rise reminds me of that little movie that would come with your first PC you got. The guy skydiving out of the airplane.
Why?
Because it's just like that thing that's going to come with it. It's we got a game here. It's cool.
Yeah, give it a shot. Well, originally that was supposed to be a Kinect game.
Oh, what, the guy parachuting out of the airplane?
No, Rise. It's supposed to be a Kinect game.
What I'm actually most excited about for next gen consoles is Resogun. I'm excited to, like, as soon as I get the PS4, the first thing I'm doing is downloading and starting to play Resogun.
So Resogun is that cylindrical based space shooter, right?
Yeah. And it's a spiritual successor to Super Stardust HD.
Yeah, it looks really cool. But you know, I don't know how much time I could spend with that. Like, I can only go so far with leaderboard high score games before I think Geometry Wars was the last I've really ever felt a need to like pursue a high score.
I understand that. I see where you're coming from. It's just like out of all, like, I feel a very addictive loop to that game. And I think I'm going to get sucked in hard. But we'll see.
Yeah. So I don't know. This launch lineup, like I said, I don't. There's no games coming out the rest of this year that I think are going to blow my mind. Like the few games I just mentioned, the 4 games I mentioned of this year. So I think even if we did compile a list of our favorites for the year and do something with it for the site, I don't think they'd change based on, unless you had an award like favorite new console of the year.
Yeah.
Favorite,
I think that is
favorite
AC4.
AwayCast member of the year.
Well,
that'd be me.
Pillow Gregg.
I pick.
Pillow Gregg would win.
I should pick Kate, right?
Is
Is that good?
Yeah.
Is that good brownie punch?
Oh, you're gonna be in the doghouse.
Oh shit! Right, guys, women.
Women, yeah. They should be in the kitchen. Women.
Greg just turned into a horse and ran away.
Where's Horse Greg?
Oh, I'm right here. It's like a ghost Greg.
Greg's gonna turn into like the fucking character actor. Like,
I mean, I could do anything. You can throw a character at me. I could do it. Go ahead.
All right, give me
Popcorn Greg. I want Popcorn Greg.
I'm Greg, the popcorn Greg.
Sounds like bath time, Greg.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, they're similar. They're related.
Okay. Let's go with Greg from Mars.
Hello, everybody. It is I, Greg from Mars.
It's God.
Hello, everybody. This is Greg from Mars.
There you go. Much better.
Yeah,
much better.
Sometimes I have to
Can
grow
we
it
get
to the. I have to
I
grow
want grizzled Vietnam veteran Greg.
You don't even know what it's like taking showers in this small bathroom I have. The shower is like 3x1. It's like when I was in Nam and all those. I can't say that on this radio show.
All right, so Dragon Slayer, Greg.
How good old lordy, Greg! I am the Dragon Slayer. I have a sword.
Apparently a tinge of south. Where are you from, Georgia? Dragon Slayer, Greg?
I don't know, Dragon Slayer.
Shouldn't that be more like I am Dragon Slayer, Greg?
No, not this one's more of a zany comedic Dragon Slayer.
Oh, I was thinking like a real dragon.
Well, you need to be more specific.
Okay,
Can
when
we
I
get
say
gritty Dragon Slayer, Greg.
there you go.
I've been slaying dragons since I was 14. You
Pretty good.
Do you
little
hang out with
cowards.
grizzled Vietnam, Greg?
We take showers together in Greg's apartment.
His 3x1 shower. Oh, so that all the games we played? Greg, you played some more Grand Theft Auto, but
You know, who cares? It's done.
yeah, Grand Theft Auto. I don't know.
Look, I played a little bit more. I'm not even that far. I play because I'm still. I played the game wrong. I do one mission and then I literally spend about 5 hours killing shit for no reason, and it's fun, but it gets boring. But I'll also say this about Grand Theft Auto: there's a lot of weird time in between missions. You gotta wait sometimes, and that throws me off even more because I have to do something, so I kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love the single player, but goddamn, that multiplayer fell flat for me.
Yeah. So I really enjoy driving cars fast and then hitting other cars and flying out of the windshield.
I had friends like come on and play. They were like, come on, and I went on.
I turned them down. I won't play those games.
And I went in, and it's just like, I spend more time loading in menus, because they have those team deathmatch things where it's like you die one.
The combat sucks in that game.
It's terrible.
It's not bad. That kind of game. That's not what the game's about. It's not about the shooting Grand Theft Auto. You think it's not. It's about the missions. It's about, choosing, making options, and kind of like being a part of this world. The combat is kind of secondary to the game.
Yeah, for sure.
The most fun I had was with the races, but after a while, it's just like, if you get too far behind in a mission where you can't catch someone with the drugs, or if you can't catch up in a race,
And what's with the cops? Like, they're so fucking fit. Like, that you bump into a cop car, you're getting murdered.
Right, yeah.
That is stupid. That is the most unrealistic thing ever. The cops tell you to pull over. For why do they even say that?
Right.
You pull over, you're dead.
You have
die.
1 star and they're already shooting at you.
Seriously, they shoot at you. You bump into one in the street, he pulls a gun on you and shoots you.
Yeah, I think people would probably lower their opinions of Grand Theft Auto after playing the online. I mean, I still love the single player for the gameplay and for the story. However, goddamn, I thought I'd be playing that multiplayer a lot longer than I did because they tried to play it off as like an MMO, right?
That was they bullshitted with that advertising. They really fucked you.
You can have an apartment and you can level up and blah blah blah. It's just like this stupid treadmill level up system.
And the whole thing with that too was making it as it's another like it's another game, like waiting to release it 2 weeks after the fact. Like you were expecting another game.
Right.
You know? And
well, they also played it. They were like, there's over, whatever 100 missions. And like they were showing cutscenes from the online. And all the cutscenes are just like the end of the mission. It's the equivalent of like playing Gears of War and watching like the generators fall. It's this canned scene. Whatever. I don't want to. Dan's going to yell at us.
Well. Hi, Dan.
Hey, Dan. Before we close up, I want to do a quick shout out. Actually, I don't know if you know Sean. Sean got into a pretty shitty car accident. He got hit on his
bike.
On his bike, really bad. Yeah, he got hit by a cab coming off the 59th Street Bridge, and it sent him flying like 15 feet or so, and he ended up breaking his femur.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
That's a long healing process, isn't it?
Really bad. Yeah, he's still in the hospital. So I just want to wish you well, brother, because I know that shit sucks. Well, I don't know firsthand, but everybody can assume that the femur is not fun.
It's an important bone. It makes your legs grow.
Yeah, he had to get surgery. I saw on Facebook that he got hurt, so then I hit him up, just like, dude, call me when you can, and he called me up, FaceTime me, just an audio actually, and he was like all drugged up on morphine. He's about to go into surgery to get some metal bar put in his leg. So just want to say what's up, Sean. Feel better, dude.
Feel better, Sean.
Yeah, feel better. Got a lot of Xbox and PlayStation in to do next month. Gotta get better.
Just be happy you didn't break a hand or an arm.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Well, be glad you're fucking alive, man. That shit is scary as fuck. And hopefully,
you should just get one of those 3-wheel bikes. They're more stable. the 2 big wheels on the back.
And they're yellow and red so that people will see you at night. But hopefully there's some kind of settlement and these cab companies have insurance.
Hopefully he gets to sue the shit out of them and gets so much cool shit.
Yeah, maybe you'll get a free PlayStation and Xbox like me. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Pillow Gregg's come back in. Guys, he's coming.
Sorry to hear about your bad experience, Sean. Get better soon. Pillow Gregg.
Pillow Gregg, you're going to have to go to the hospital and do Patch Adams.
Picture him with like a little, like this stupid pillow that matches like my bed set, like that dumb pattern pillow with like a red nose, or just like.
No, I picture you going with a red nose on and you're holding a pillow.
I picture like Patch Adams, but no one's laughing. Everyone's just like
I picture Pillow Gregg just floating through the hospital with the red nose, just like, hey everybody, it's me, Pillow Gregg. Oh, you hurt yourself? You have cancer? Feel better? I'm a pillow.
I think you're onto something, some kind of business with this. And the last topic I want to talk about is Call of Duty. The guys over at Activision, whatever, they're saying that they are aiming to beat the sales of Grand Theft Auto.
Well, of course they are. Aren't they always aiming to get the highest sales?
Yeah, but to make that statement publicly.
They also made a public statement today that they said that the people who play Call of Duty aren't hardcore gamers.
Right, but if you read the article, it makes more sense. From an analytical
basically
standpoint,
just saying that they extend beyond hardcore gamers.
Well, they're basically saying that a large majority of people who play Call of Duty only play Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is video games for them. Like
Yeah.
Like, video games don't go
They're
beyond
just shallow
shooting.
people.
Well, shallow gamers.
Shallow, weak human beings.
Yeah, well, that's
weak humans.
Yeah, go hang out with the people that play Pokemon.
Inchworms.
Virgin inchworm weakling. But that's a little ridiculous, wouldn't you say, to make some kind of statement like that, knowing all the records that they just broke?
Yeah, especially when you compare it to because Call of Duty has had giant openings in the past, but it also it's never come even close to $1 billion.
Well, and knowing that during this transitional period to the consoles, that pre-orders for Call of Duty are at almost an all-time low.
Oh yeah. Oh, and then you take into a fact that Call of Duty comes out every fucking year. There's going to be some buyer's fatigue there. Yeah, people are going to be like, "Do I really need to buy this one? I'll just buy the one next year."
Well, I'm hoping that more people start to gravitate towards Battlefield, because I think if they had actually, you know what? Keep the Call of Duty where the Call of Duty needs to be.
Yeah, you losers keep playing Call of Duty. The cool gamers that we're not going to tell to buy it, you guys go buy the Battlefield.
I still like Call of Duty. You can't deny it. It's a good game.
It is. It's fun, but Battlefield is looking like the winner right now.
It is.
Battlefield is looking real good.
Yeah, you want dogs, or what do you want? You want fallen buildings,
or super realistic everything, or beautiful over the top graphics,
like every new game that comes out.
Super dynamic worlds,
like every new game that comes out. You can do whatever you want in that game.
Yeah,
you can do whatever you want,
and then you get in there and you can only do what they say you can do.
Exactly.
Yeah. You can blow up any building you want as long as it's this building.
The last thing I'd say is that Watch Dogs got delayed, as well as Drive Club. And was there something else that got delayed? I know Ubisoft delayed a whole bunch of shit.
Nah.
And their stocks went down 23% when they announced these delays. But I think it's a smart move. Any delay, especially when they're competing Assassin's Creed against Watch Dogs, that's kind of silly. In that release area.
We saw Watch Dogs. That game looks like it, and you could use some time.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Is just the demo that we saw at Comic-Con was not impressive, and I'm hoping they step it up a little bit. Maybe they got some feedback from all of their recent showings of the game, and are taking that as notice to fix it and make it what they promised. So, hopefully, Aiden Pierce will be back in. Awesome.
It is really funny because this delay of Watch Dogs has made me go, well, a lot more interested in Assassin's Creed 4 now.
Right. Well, the first review actually came out for Assassin's Creed over in Europe or Canada, or is it Europe, I assume, right? I don't know. Did you guys not see that an Assassin's Creed 4 review came out already?
Oh, a review got posted?
Yeah, but it was in French.
Oh, so you translate.
It was just like, wee woo wah croissant, woo woo Eiffel Tower, woo woo wee wah woo woo.
Yeah, exactly. They were Hawaiian.
This is a baby who did this review?
It was a Hawaiian man. Wow.
Lay. Woo.
Greg, get the Rosetta Stone, dude. All right, so is that it, guys? Josh, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, so this week we have a couple of the Ouya videos are still going to come out. Greg is still working on our Comic-Con video.
I'm putting together a little short video. It has us doing looking into the cameras in slow motion, and there's also some other people on there who look really cool.
Well, by really cool, Greg means he humiliated people on.
All
right.
I think he made friends. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Well, Greg has a hard time making friends. That's why.
I do. That's why I make up people like Pillow Gregg.
All right, Greg. Thanks for hanging out this week, pal.
Hey, my pleasure to hang out.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
We miss you in New York.
I miss New York.
I speak for Greg also, right, Greg?
Absolutely not.
All right. So, AwayCast.com, theAwayCast.com, AwayCast.com. However you want to reach us, we own all those domains now. Fucking follow us.
Like us,
tweet us, Twitch, LinkedIn. You
can also donate money to us.
YouTube us.
My PayPal address is GregAndrew@GregAndrew.com. You can send us as much donations as you want.
And Pillow Gregg at
PillowGregg.com.
At Sleepy's Mattress.
The mattress professional. Okay, yeah, thank you very much, everybody.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Deuces.
Later.
Bye.